Hey guys, look what I got. That's right guys, I got the Blade Nano QX 3D. This is the Maiden Flight version. Let's quit wasting time. Let's open up the box and see what's going on inside. Alright, so this is how it's packaged inside the box. As you can see, you've got your little USB charger there, you've got your battery, and of course the quadcopter. And underneath that you've got your spare props. I wanted to show you how this is packaged, and now let's take a look with everything outside the box. This is what comes inside the box. Of course, we've got our spare props back there, our battery, which is a 200 milliamp hour battery, and we've got the charger for it because we've got a little bit wider profile, so it needs that little adapter. And of course, we've got our quadcopter there. Alright guys, here is a quick look at the quadcopter. We're just going to do a quick overview. Quick up close look at it. As you can tell, we have the ability to fly inverted. And in fact, what is inverted on this technically is right side up on the Nano QX that came before this. We've also got the prop guards for this quadcopter. It's a pretty cool looking quadcopter. In fact, I'm going to quit talking and we're going to put this thing up in the air and see how it goes. Alright guys, one thing that I need to note, I charged up this battery and discovered a couple things. One is this male-female system is proprietary. It does not work with the typical UMX plugs. This is a different connector system altogether. I was hoping I could plug this little adapter that I got with my UMX B17 and plug it into my 4-port charger, but it didn't work because it's not the right size plug. It took about 20 minutes to charge this up, and now we're gonna give this thing a test flight and see how it goes. Here is a look at the lights before we do our maiden flight. It's got lots of different lights, 3 different colors, makes it pretty easy to see. Now here is a look at them in the dark. A lot of folks consider this to be a very good night flyer, and I can see why. If it's like this, actually it looks like it probably does just fine both ways, but even more so like so. And we are going to take a look at the maiden flight right now. Alright, this is the maiden flight. Set in mode 1. I've got my DX6 here all set up. There are 3 different modes if you follow the manual, and we're gonna give it a go. So far it feels very, very responsive. The throttle's a tiny bit touchy, but I'm also just getting used to flying this with a big remote. I'm used to flying most of my multirotors on tiny little RTF radios, which are very different than this. Has a really nice yaw rate on this thing. Thing is really responsive in the first mode. It really is responsive. Now the sticks are a little bit longer on my DX6 than my ready to fly radios that I'm used to. So I've got to push a little harder to get some of the response, but it responds very nicely overall to what the inputs are that I'm inputting. And it's quick. Alright, that is it for mode 1. I can't remember what they call it, but it's basically mode 1. So now I'm going to switch to the second mode, and we're going to see what happens. Oh, this is even better. Yes. This feels super tight with my inputs. Wow, I like this thing. I like it a lot. My sister got it for me, and brother-in-law got it for me for Christmas, and I can't wait for them to see this video. I love it. I love it a lot. That is awesome, guys. Wow. That is awesome. I love this thing. So you already saw me do some basic flying, and now I'm going to be flying it, which is basically right side up or inverted depending on how you look at it. And here we go. This is in mode 1. Nice and stable. Gonna switch to mode 2. Again, this feels a little bit tighter. I feel much more in tune with it. First mode still flies fantastic, but this, it just is perfect. I really like it. Beautiful funnels. Alright, so there's that. Now we're gonna see about doing some flips. Nice. Flips are fun. So like we've got a little low voltage situation here, so I'm just going to set it down. And that will be it for our Maiden Flight. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'm going to have a wrap-up review here shortly. So this is the review portion of the video. And I'm going to touch lightly on some of the pros and cons. I'll start with the cons first because overall I really like this. It handles very smoothly, does nice flips once you get the hang of it. It's got 3 flight modes, well 2 for me, but I think that's probably a settings issue. The battery is not integrated, so that means that I've got more flexibility when it comes to flying it back to back to back flights, provided I have charged batteries on hand. And so far it's pretty durable, except for the body, which I'll get to here shortly. As far as the cons go, the props, they randomly fly off, as you will notice in the blooper portion right at the very end of this video, so stay tuned and continue to watch that. 3D mode did not work. It freaked out on me, probably a settings issue, and I'll continue to figure that out, and let's chat about that in the comments section. And the final thing that's a con or a negative is the body is pretty fragile. This is really kind of cheap material, and it's also on back order, so I'm sure I'm not the only person who has had this happen. So I reinforced it with some Scotch tape. It actually makes it much stronger. I think it'll be okay. And I'm still probably going to order another body anyway. This looks pretty cool if you're just looking at it. If you touch it, you're not impressed at all, which I'm not as far as that goes. But the way this flies, it is phenomenal. It really is phenomenal. Now I did have one of the LEDs go out too. And if I touched on one of the 2 resistors for each of these panels, each one of these is connected to the top or bottom LEDs, it reconnected it. So there's a solder fix. There's a really nice video out there on YouTube that shows you how to fix that if you've encountered that issue. And I am probably going to get a soldering iron and with a fine tip and take care of that. So that's all really for the review portion of this. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and GBLynden out.